The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
Every story you love, every invention that moves you, every idea you wished was yours, all began as nothing. Just a blank page with a blinking cursor, asking a simple question. What do you see? Great ideas start on Mac. Find out more on apple.com/Mac.
This is 70,000 Tons of Metal, the original, the world's biggest heavy metal cruise. 60 bands, 4 days, 1 cruise ship, only 3,000 tickets. It's like having an all-access backstage pass. January 29th to February 2nd, 2026. From Miami, Florida to Nassau, the Bahamas, and back. Go to 70,000tons.com and book now.
Pretty cold. It's high 40s it's been.
Dang, that's what it should be here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
Right,
weird.
you're on the opposite side there.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess, I don't know where she's at, but we could just jump in and see where it goes. And if these other people show up, does that work for you?
Yeah, man. Whatever. It's all good.
Yeah, this way we don't kill time.
Sure.
Let me pull up my notes. And I am ready to go. So, Rage Towards the... I'm having trouble talking today. I've been talking all morning, and we're going to try that again. Rage Toward the Light has been out, probably a little bit over a week and a half?
Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be a week and a half, something like that.
Now that it's out, what's been the response to it so far, and are you guys satisfied with the outcome?
Oh, man. I mean, we love the record. Satisfied with the outcome. Is trying to get more people to hear it. That's the challenge that we're facing.
Yeah, and it's so there's a lot of noise out there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
There's so much noise. How do you try and stand above that, or do you not and just do your thing and hope it does?
That's pretty much where I'm at. It's kind of to a point where I can only do so much, and it's just really trying to make the best thing possible that I'm capable of doing. That's really where I'm at with it.
Okay, fair enough. Hey, Michael, how are you?
Oh, is Mike joining us? Hey, buddy.
Yeah, he
Oh my God,
says he's in. Hey, there he
Good.
is.
How about you?
I'm well, thank you. Where are you at?
I am at home in my home office / studio,
So
and
geographically, you in Michigan too?
yeah, I'm in the Lansing area, so kind of middle of the state.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in Richmond. I had a partner who may or may not show up. I thought she was going to be here already, but I'm ready to roll, and we've kind of just been chatting. So,
Cool.
new record. Are you satisfied with the outcome?
Yeah, I listen to it regularly. Since we got the Masters back, it's just been nonstop play for me. I really just as a fan of music and industrial rock stuff like that. I love it.
So we can just jump right in then. Rage Towards the Light fuses aggression of Nine Inch Nails with the soul of, I don't know, probably like The Weeknd or something. Do you think this kind of industrial pop alchemy could mark the next big evolution in modern metal?
Boy, I would hope so. Hopefully we're at the forefront of it. I mean, there's always been a pop element to a lot of metal and things like even like Nine Inch Nails and stuff. I mean, sure that started underground, but how popular is it now? It's massive, So what constitutes pop besides just being popular? So I don't know, the bands that we relate to, there's an element of something like Peter Gabriel in this, how pop is he? He's been extremely popular for decades now. You know what I
Right.
mean? So,
Okay. Michael?
Yeah, I don't know that we're necessarily doing anything like radically new and innovative, but it's just kind of the combination of all of our influences, which are really all over the place. So yeah.
So when you're writing songs, then do you is anything on the table in the initial stages since you're blending so many different kind of genres?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think.
absolutely. It's a lot of this, most of it really starts with I write something just kind of synthesizer based, and sometimes it has structure, sometimes it doesn't. I kind of try to leave certain parts of it open-ended, leave room for other things. But it's whatever comes out is what comes out, and if it works, it works. I don't really approach songwriting with like, now I'm gonna make the heaviest thing ever. Like I might go, I'm gonna make something a little faster and see how that goes, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
So are you writing these songs for how they're going to come across on stage and how the audience is going to perceive them? Or are you writing them the song for the song's sake and how you feel about it and then adapting it to the stage?
Yeah, I would say it's song for the song's sake at first. This definitely starts as a recording thing, and just trying to make the best song possible, and then we would translate that to the stage.
You ever find it difficult doing that because you've added too much shit or too much stuff into the
Yeah. Yes and no, that's absolutely the case, but we are using a lot of tracks and stuff, whatever we call backing tracks or whatever when we do live stuff. So in that's the case, it's not that hard because it's just being played in that way. So all these layers of synths and stuff, like whatever Mike can't handle is pretty much probably just gonna be there. It's just kind of like the track, to the click track kind of thing. So yes, we would have to have a massive band to be able to do this stuff live and actually cover every single part. But that's not the reality, so we're just covering what we can, and then the rest will just kind of be there and in the kind of backing track, which is the biggest bands in the world. Nine Inch Nails is still doing that, you know what I mean? Not
Oh yeah.
everything's being covered, so that's just the reality of it.
Yeah. So these songs, at least listening to it myself, first time through because I wasn't familiar with you guys, these songs are sort of dark and sort of offer some sort of light at the end of the tunnel or whatever. But does Rage Towards the Light feel like a rebellion against darkness or a celebration of finding beauty in chaos?
I guess it would be both. I think I think it's more of a, I guess it's meant to be like when I mean, it's right in the lyrics, is when you're at your lowest, just to get angry about that and to rage toward the light. So it's kind of like a catharsis. I don't know. It's just like trying to just like get out of whatever kind of bad shit you're going through and just put yourself in a better position. And for myself personally, I always found the best way to do that is to get angry about it. And so like that's where the term kind of and the phrase kind of comes from.
Yeah. Do you find that you've put too much of yourself into some of your songs, or is that the point?
No, so I'm going to say something a little bit different here that a lot of people kind of don't like to hear. There's probably not as much of me in these songs as there should be or could be. One thing I like to talk about is how songwriting is a skill, and it's something I've been doing for a long time. And so I know how to put myself in the position of characters, perhaps, or things that are kind of like a subject that maybe I haven't actually gone through personally, but I could put myself in that position to write a song about that. So there's actually surprisingly not that much stuff that I would say is super personal to me on this record, in that regard. So I don't know. I think a lot of songwriters and stuff are kind of like not being super honest when they're like, it's so like about me and everything I've gone through. And it's like, is it though? Or is it just that, like, because I'm seeing 14 songwriting credits on here, so like, is that really the case? So I don't know. That's the kind of a thing that I like to try to talk about, that like, hey, it's a skill I've been doing for a long time.
Michael, I don't want to cut you off, so if you've got something to say, please jump in.
Well, Ross writes all the lyrics, and I'm very much more like the instrumental portion of it. But I guess from my perspective, like every single song, the core of the music is like whatever I was feeling in that moment that I was kind of building these things and putting them together, whether that's stress or anger or whatever. So there is some of that, but it's a little harder to convey because there's nothing lyrically. So like if it's a super aggressive song, that's what I was feeling, and I was into that vibe right then for whatever reason.
Is it cathartic?
Oh, absolutely. So much of this stuff started as like I've got a big hardware rig of like modular synthesizers and stuff, and so much of it starts as I'm just kind of in the moment jamming on a loop and then seeing where I can take it and sort of building it out as it goes. And so a lot of it, like the bass music just comes together really quick with usually within an evening or an afternoon or something on the weekend. And it's all about like this is where I'm at right now.
Okay. With John Fryer and Tony Lindgren behind the controls, how do you think the production shaped the emotional range of the record?
Well, those guys, John came on, it was all done after the fact. So he just mixed it, and he mixed half of it, and he's an incredible mixer. And I mean, he has a long record of, incredible mixes and working with incredible bands. And he did a great job of sorting out, and Mike had to do this too with the stuff that he mixed. There's so much happening, as you heard, that it takes some real skill from the mixer to kind of sort out like what the hell is actually happening, what is important. I was always impressed with John's mixes. They would come back and they would be, the song's still the same song, but it's like there's things that he would pull up that we didn't have pulled up in our mixes and our rough mixes and stuff. So he'd always like cue onto these other things that was always really interesting to me and be like, oh, that's different than what we were doing. And so I think it's so important to have fresh ears do that, and that's why when we can, like to have somebody else. And then Tony at Fascination Street, those guys have an incredible history of working with so many of the best metal bands on the planet. They've mastered shit for Billie Eilish and shit too. They're all over the place, but they're a huge metal place,
Right.
but you know they're like my favorite production studio in the world. I just love the sounds that they pull out of there in the metal world. It's a lot of prog metal and death metal and stuff they do over there, but just phenomenal people over there. And I've always been so impressed with their mastering. I've been using their mastering for years now, 20 freaking years or something like that, because it's just like I've used a lot of other mastering people, and there's just something that they do there that it's just got the sound to it that I just love. So whenever I can and whenever there's money enough to do it, I try to hit them up first. And he made some unique changes to like the track listing and having songs go into each other and over each other and stuff like that in the mastering process that wasn't there. So I really like how it's like do what you want and like make it what you think it should be as an artist too, even in the mastering stage of, like if you think it should be this, then make it that. And if we hate it, that's fine, and we can always go back. But like just allowing those collaborators to just like have the reign. It's like we're hiring them for a reason, because I want them to do their thing, so I'm not trying to limit anybody. And it's almost always has worked for the best to have those guys just kind of like come in and do what they do. And there's been very, very few times where I'm like, that sucks, I don't want it like that. But most of the time it's like, oh, that's awesome, good call. So, and that's really how they helped shape the whole thing.
You mentioned something very interesting, because I think a lot of bands don't spend the money on the mastering process, or kind of overlook it or breeze through it, and that's a fatal mistake, I think, because it makes a
Yeah.
difference.
Oh, it makes a huge difference. It's the final thing, right? And so, there's all this stuff now where you can just, whatever, upload your thing to the website and it makes it louder and crappier and sends it back
Right.
to you or whatever. But there's not the art to it. And again, I get it. There's budget. We certainly are limited by budget and everything too. We're not backed by some huge anything,
Right.
but so it's just kind of like if you can do it, you definitely should have real guys with their incredible ears that they've been honing these skills for years and years and years and do it every day. And it makes such a huge difference to the overall quality. Anybody can make it loud, right? Like we don't got an issue making it loud. Mike's good at mastering. I can master too, to a point. But there's just a certain level that these guys are at that we're just not at, and that's the reason why you should go to these guys if you can.
Fair enough. Um, when you guys are you writing like all in the same room in that sort of thing? Does that ever happen like in a rehearsal room, or is it more electronic back and forth?
Mike, you wanna answer that one?
Yeah, it really just the fact that like we live about an hour apart. So like and we're both working jobs. I've got a family, I've got a lot of extra stuff going on. So
Sure.
driving back and forth doesn't always work out. It's hard to line up sometimes, but so it really is very much like I get some ideas together, I get all of the stems together, I upload them to Google Drive. Ross goes through, listens to different demos. Something grabs his attention, then he's going to grab everything and start kind of chopping up what I gave him, depending on how much structure there is there. It's sort of, this verse should be a little longer, or this should be the pre-chorus, stuff like that. And so I kind of like, it's almost like assembly line. It goes from me to him. He adds his layers. We get kind of a demo together, maybe like vocal demo, and then we start thinking about guitars at that point,
Right.
and seeing what makes sense for that too.
So being that you guys are, all in families and that kind of thing, and the economy is what it is there any way you're taking this out on the road? Or is it more like weekend warrior one-off kind of things?
Yeah, definitely right now, weekend warrior, one-off kind of things. We'd love to get out and tour this, but like,
It doesn't make
uh,
sense.
no, well, did you guys just see this thing that's going viral right now? The band Garbage has been doing this she's been doing this whole thing on stage saying like this is our last tour ever. We're just we've had a great career, but we're never going to be able to actually make money doing this ever again, like kind of thing. And it's going around right now, and it's like, yeah, okay, they're you could say at the end of their career or whatever, and I get it, but it's just like there's a lot of bands, big bands that I think of as big bands anyway, that are just they can't do it anymore. It's just it's not sustainable to go out there and actually tour. So I mean, for us, without any kind of like label backing or anything, like the reality of trying to tour that, it's just not there. But we definitely are hoping to get out and actually do more live shows
Yeah.
behind this record.
But you're not lying, because I mean, I think it was last year Anthrax canceled the whole European tour because of
Yeah.
gas prices.
It's all over, man. Friggin' the Black Keys 2 years ago had that whole snafu where they had to cancel their whole
Yeah.
arena tour and everything. I mean, that was like a huge deal. I mean, they played the Super Bowl. Don't forget, you know what I mean? And so
Right.
like now 10 years later, they're can't hardly sell out. I'm sure they're selling out whatever theaters and whatever, or I'm sure they're doing very well, but you know what I mean? It's just crazy that that's kind of where we're at now.
So this has nothing to do with Long After Midnight, but where do you think this goes? How does the music business reinvent itself from here?
I don't know, man. I don't know that it does. I mean, like it's been so top down for such a long time with, you got Taylor Swift making billions and nothing against her, good for her, but it just kind of like I've been saying for a long time, I have kind of huge opinions on this, that there's no middle class in music anymore. It's not just the musicians, it's the guys like we've been talking about, the mixers and masters, it's the
Mhm.
stage hands, it's your lighting guys, it's your front of house guys, it's these kind of guys that were just they're they're making a living, but they're not, getting rich or anything, but it's just the job that they're in, and that stuff is just going away. And I think it sucks because I've been so in love with concerts my whole life, and it's getting to the point now where I can't even go. It's getting to like we could barely go to concerts anymore. It's so expensive. So I don't know how it bounces back or if it ever will.
Yeah, I know. I saw the Rush. I mean, obviously, you saw Rush is touring again, but I saw some of the
Right.
prices for that, and they're like $5,000 a seat.
Yeah,
Who's going to
that
that?
Yeah, that's reset, the resale thing or whatever, but it's still like, and again, it's like it's only like top tier people who probably aren't even the biggest Rush fans, and that's
Right.
what really sucks. It's like, like the nerds who've been going to see Rush since, whenever the 70s or whatever, like I
Right.
don't got
Me.
5 grand. Exactly. Yeah, it's like I
Right.
can't do that. So
No.
now you got some corporate dude who's like, and again, there's Rush fans everywhere, but it's just like, some dude who probably doesn't care as much, but he's got that extra income that can just like buy
Yeah.
up the thing, and it's like, I don't know, that just kind of
90
sucks. I
bucks
mean,
for a shirt. Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
it's insane. Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely. I don't know where it goes either because we seem to be capping out, and
hmm
I don't know how you stay above all the noise and all the nonsense when everybody's interested in 30-second clips of, the next thing, and they're already on. Nobody's paying attention to like how you sequence the record.
yeah,
When you
yeah,
sequence the
yeah,
record, like that's a whole art form that I think is lost in the mix because nobody
yeah.
gives a shit.
Yeah, and we definitely spent. This record was kind of designed. In a lot of it's kind of in the order that it was written, not all of it, but like it was definitely designed from the ground up with that in mind. We knew it was going to be a full length album. I'm super dorky about sequencing and stuff like that. It's I just like it. I always have. It's fun to me to try to make it be the thing, and so it was designed like that, kind of from the get go. Like this song's going to go into this song, is going to go into this song. So this one very much has that kind of vibe. Most of the songs just slam right into each other. So it was definitely thought about from the get go with that.
Oh, so you wrote them that way.
A
So
lot of them.
sequencing wasn't that hard then.
Yeah, correct. So a lot of them, especially like the first half of the record, they were kind of like some blocks. There were a few of them that got moved around, but it was like, we did this one, and then it was like it just kind of moved on, and I was like, well, if it's going to come out of that one, it should just start like this or whatever. So there was kind of
Right.
like that from the beginning, that initial thought of like that. And again, some stuff changed, and it wasn't all like that, but
Sure.
yeah, I definitely kind of was like thinking about that a little bit, like as we were putting it together. It was fun.
My partner Bella's here, so I'm going to introduce her in a second. But sticking with that thread for 1 second, are you running out to the car like making cassette tapes or CDs and listening to them and see how it flows?
Yeah, sometimes I mean it's not even CDs anymore. It's just like a iTunes playlist or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, I
But yeah,
guess
but
right.
yeah, it's I'm sitting here in my car right now. It doesn't even have a CD player anymore. Which is that's a whole other thing that get me started on. But yeah, absolutely, man. When we were putting stuff together and demos and stuff, yeah, it all goes on a playlist or in the Google Drive, or and I'll shift stuff around. I'm sure Mike's doing the same thing on his end, and we definitely had conversations about where this one should go, and like I have a thing about like like there's certain songs that are kind of the short rocker kind of songs, and those kind of need to be spread out, throughout the album, and trying to create that ebb and flow. So that's something that's always on my mind. To me, that's just such a part of the fun of doing it.
I agree. Bella, welcome.
Hi, I am so sorry I'm late. I'm calling from California and I had the time zones wrong. I
Oh,
thought
Totally
it
fine.
started an hour later.
We're midway, but feel free to jump in and join us. That's Ross and Michael.
hey, what's up?
Yeah, so I was actually just listening to some of your guys' music. I really like what you got going. So I do want to ask, what like just for as long as you guys have been long after midnight, what is your proudest moment as a band?
For me, it's releasing this record for sure. I think it's by far the best thing that we've done together. So completing this and putting it out for me.
How
Yeah,
long of
no,
a
it's the
process?
same.
Sorry. Go ahead, Michael.
Oh, sorry. It's the same for me. I like the songwriting on this is the best thing I think either of us have ever done. And just the mix work that for the songs that I mixed on this it's the best kind of that work that I've done at this point. I've been doing music for God over 20 years. So like I'm super proud of every aspect of it from end to end.
It's awesome.
That's really awesome.
So, do you think about your releases? Do you think about not writing the same record as the one before? So, obviously you want to stay true to the band's core fans, but you don't want to write the previous record because then there's no sort of growth, right? Do you consciously think of that, or is that something that comes about? naturally.
I think it's both. I think that is something that was on my mind doing this one, and I think it will be something that will be on my mind doing the next one. It's more just it's I don't know if it's more like I don't want to do what I did before. It's more just like this is what I want to do now. And so just kind of like doing that, and that could kind of be whatever, but definitely not trying to repeat yourself is always a challenge. And like I say, I've written a lot of songs, so like even just lyrically, it's like it's difficult to not repeat yourself lyrically, even from something you maybe did 10 years ago. So it's hard to be like you have to find fresh ways to challenge yourself as a songwriter, to be like, oh, that's something new. One of the ways that I do that that we did on this and we've done before is Mike a lot of the time will title the songs the working song or whatever he sends me, and a lot of the time they're really good titles, and so I can use those as a springboard for lyrics to give me an idea, so I don't have to like come up with something wholesale. It's like, okay, well, that's an interesting, so I'm trying to like use what he's given me and then give that back to him, is like, the idea actually came from him, even though it's just kind of like a lot of it, it's just kind of could be nonsense, song
Right.
title or whatever, just fun words or like, something that just sounds cool, and then trying to like figure out like, well, what the hell does that actually mean? So that's one of the ways that I do it to try to keep things fresh lyrically, because it does get harder as, I'm an old man now trying to come up with fresh ideas all the time. It's
Right.
not always easy.
No, I get that. And you don't want to, you got to stay true to the band sound as well
Yeah, it'll
in
always
some
be
sort
some
of
sort of
framework. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll always be within that industrial metal kind of thing for sure.
Okay. Bella, I don't know where she's at, but
We
I
lose her.
so,
just, I'm on
oh,
mute. My bad.
there you go.
Okay. All right. So I have another one of my questions. So what is Long After Midnight's origin story?
Oh, Mike should answer that.
Yeah. So like going back to like 2015, honestly, it goes back to in 2015, I was in a really weird place in my life and I went and saw Skinny Puppy for the first time ever. I've been a fan for a long time. And like prior to that, like I'd had my second kid, I sold all my music equipment. I'm like, well, I guess I'm just a dad now and I don't do any music. Then I saw Skinny Puppy and I'm like, it was a come to Jesus moment. Like it was, Paul on the road to Damascus. I'm like, holy shit, what am I doing? Why, like, this is what I love, and I know how to like make music like this. And so that led into, the spiral of getting back into music production, getting gear. And so eventually, like after doing a whole album of just me trying to make an industrial metal album and then trying to figure out I want to play this live. And then I realized I don't want to be the singer. And I just kind of want to be the guy behind my thing. And so it was this long search of trying to find a guitar player, trying to find a singer. And eventually I encountered Ross through an old bandmate of mine. And he liked what I was doing. And I was looking for a singer. I had a guy for guitar. And so we just started working on a song together. And, this search starts in like 2016, middle of 2016, and then we finally start working on our first song 2019. So it it takes a while to find people.
Oh yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
So
but
what's
we
next?
put our
Go
first
ahead.
song together. Oh, sorry, we put our first
Nope.
song together, and that it went really well. It's a track called Brave New World that's on our first EP, and so we wrote a couple more, released it, and then just kept on going.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Bruce, do you have another question? You want me to go in with another question?
If you want to go, we got like 6 minutes left, so you can go with the next one if you want.
All right. So this is for both of you. What was the first instrument you learned how to play?
I started on guitar in the fifth grade and then drums shortly thereafter in the like school band program, like sixth grade or whatever. So, but technically, I started first on guitar.
Nice. Nice. And
Yeah, I got my first guitar when I was 14. I think my dad bought me a Fender Squire or whatever. And it was one of those things where like there's always more that I wanted to do that I couldn't do with just a guitar. And then I finally like found electronic music software. And this is like 98, 99 on an old crappy computer. And so like struggling through that. But once I found like Fruity Loops and playing with samples and synthesizer stuff, and I was like, this is it. I can do almost everything and it's fun. So
Yeah, never leave the studio.
yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah. No, that's one of my favorite parts of music production. It's like, wait, I don't have to outsource every single thing. This is awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
if I could show myself at, 17, 18 years old, like struggling with some of that crappy software, what I've got now, it's
So
unreal where it's at.
I'm really old school. I worked in the recording studios in Manhattan for a long time, and I remember having to use the SBX to try and sync the SMPTE code off the 2-inch tape to get like
Wow.
the 224
Yeah.
analog machines to sync, and it was a nightmare.
I never had to do that. That tape was just phasing out when I was getting into it, and I was on an early rig of Pro Tools. So yeah, I never had the pleasure of using tape. I would like to,
Yeah.
it's cool, but like so many producers and everything say, it's like, yeah, you say that and it's fun to talk about, but like you also don't understand how big of a pain in the fucking ass it was back in the day to do all this stuff. So we're
It was a
spoiled now for
pain.
sure.
And
But
I was
tape
talking to
sounds so
somebody just
good.
recently, and they said they can't even afford it, even if they wanted to. It's so hard to get like a roll of 456 2-inch or something.
Yep, it's gone away. My favorite band, Tool, very famously drove around LA buying up a bunch of the tape reels like 10 years ago or something, so they would have more to track their drums and guitars on in the future, because it's becoming basically impossible to find. Which is like, that's kind of a dick move on their part, but like it's also kind of funny.
Yeah, I get it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
You gotta do what you gotta do.
yeah.
Anyway, we are running way up on time. Did I miss anything you want to cover?
Let's see. And then I think you guys did cover this just previously as we've been talking, but which bands would you say inspires your music?
This for me, we both came together on a band called Stabbing Westward, which you guys may or may not know. They had a bunch of hits in
Hell
the late
yeah.
90s. We love those guys, and that was I loved those guys back then, and so does Mike. Actually, one of the guys actually has done a remix for our remix album coming out here too. So from Stabbing Westward, so that'll be cool. Nine Inch Nails, of course. Peter Gabriel is a big one. And I'm always influenced by all things Maynard James Keenan, especially vocally. So that would be probably the primary stuff coming from me on this particular project.
What about
Yeah, it's
God
a lot
Lives
of the same for me.
Underwater?
It's did you say what was that?
God Lives Underwater?
Oh God, I love that album. Their first album back in
Oh
the day.
my
That was
God.
so
Yeah.
good. That's
Sorry, I
I
interrupted you, but that's what I was thinking too, because I love that record.
Yeah.
I celebrate all of the 90s industrial rock very thoroughly. But it's Stabbing Westward, Nine Inch Nails. I've had a lot of influence in sound design from a guy called Author and Punisher that just does like really, really heavy like electronic doom music. And then a lot of like prog stuff, Peter Gabriel, and even like I get into like a lot of like Blind Guardian and stuff like that too, that somehow like works its way into melodies and things like that.
No, that's great. We are totally out of time. So if fans want to find you guys, where can they do so? Can you give us all your socials?
Yeah, longaftermidnight.net, the website that has all the links to everywhere. We're on Bandcamp. Facebook, I think, is just Long After Midnight Official, or maybe something along those lines. Just search for Long After Midnight Band. We're on everything, YouTube, whatever, iTunes, Spotify. So we are not hard to find if you want to listen to the music.
All right, and then
Beautiful.
thank you for taking the time. I appreciate it. Good luck with the music.
Thank you very much. No, we
That was-
appreciate you.
Thanks
It's
for
fun.
having us.
Hey,
And
be well.
wonderful to meet you
All
guys.
Same. Take
Cheers.
care.
All right,
Peace.
bye.
Bye.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I don't know if you've heard, but Mint's premium wireless is $15 a month. But I'd like to offer one other perk. We have no stores. That means no small talk. Crazy weather we're having. No, it's not. It's just weather. It is an introvert's dream. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan. $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.